One thing I wanted to say was that I heard Jane Fonda interviewed yesterday, and she agrees with you that she made a mistake. The second thing I want to say is to you, Michael, is that when you're working on your new book, I hope you'll take a look at our local dissident who spoke out against the draft in World War I and went to San Quentin, Marie Equi.
I went to Portland State University and I got an MA in history there, and I remember reading about it very well. So yes,
good,
I will.
Good. I'm very glad to hear that. My question is about the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which I know I'm in danger of it's being negotiated so secretly that perhaps none of you know anything about it. You don't. Okay. I recently got an email about the restrictions on internet use that it's in danger of, so I was hoping you might be able to enlighten me, but okay.
Sorry.
One last question.
Well, I have been in America for 5 years now. I'm getting my citizenship soon, so I do really love this system where the government pays you to point out the mistakes. But then you oversimplified things when you talked about the war in Iraq, like it's just, okay, governments lie. Well, I mean, to make a change, to organize people, the question of why it happened, this needs to be clarified, this needs to be answered to prevent recurrence, to prevent manipulating the people by the government, and of course, to repair damage that happened to families in Iraq and America. Thank you.
Okay.
So you got one?
Question.
Yeah, sure. Oh, there was one. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, one last person at the mic. Good.
I didn't think I'd have a chance. Now, whenever I'm in a discussion like this, I'm aware of a certain disconnect in understanding the difference between security and law enforcement. Security is designed to prevent incidents. Law enforcement occurs after a crime has been committed. And these are basically different concepts. And one of the problems I see in our discussion here is that you have the, I'll get there, is that you have the question of protecting us, etc., that we've been complaining about in the airports, etc., and the idea of prosecutions. Now, my question is, how do you think we can separate these so that we can deal with the issues more effectively?
One of the things that happened under the Patriot Act was the wall between the intelligence gathering, that is the security function that you're talking about, and law enforcement was broken down. Prior to the Patriot Act, the statutes prohibited the CIA or FBI intelligence arms from sharing information and using information that they had obtained in prosecutions. Patriot Act changed that. And as a general proposition, I think that is probably a reasonable thing to do, that we were losing some things as a result of that absolute bar. Where I think we need to be focusing in this area is on the way in which the change in focus of the FBI since 2001 from a law enforcement that is responsive function to a more of a focus on security and intelligence gathering is affecting us. Do we need security forces? Absolutely. Are there bad guys out there? Absolutely. But when we don't question the extent of the authority that we're giving to the government, we're in trouble. And I say more power to that arch-conservative who stood up on the Senate floor and filibustered last week, and to our Senator Wyden, who was one of the very few people who joined him to say, we need more information. And again, I'll come back to that theme. We want to get out of the pot. We want to be truly secure. We need to be faithful to freedom's first principles. That's what Justice Kennedy said 5 years ago, and I think that's where we need to keep our focus.